Hello, everybody out there hello, citizens of YouTube land. Kind of screwed that up a little bit. And once again, as always, if you want to become a citizen of YouTube land, all you have to do is click that subscribe button below. Today, once again, we're going with another episode of the month of Halloween Horror. Ooh. Today's episode is going to be Psycho.
Yep.
Directed by Alfred Hitchcock, it stars Vera Miles, Janet Leigh, and Anthony Perkins. It was directed by Alfred Hitchcock. It premiered...
Yeah, you already said that.
Okay. a bit of a gap there, guys. Excuse me. Anyways, it premiered September 16th, 8th. September 18th, 1960.
8th.
September 8th, 1960. Getting my facts wrong here. It has an incredible 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. It was made for $806,547, and it grossed $50 million worldwide.
This movie made money. In fact, I think at its time may have been the highest grossing movie of all time before a certain little Steven Spielberg movie called Jaws came along and beat it.
It might have been. I'm not sure. We won't get into the specifics of that one.
Yeah, don't try to fact check us on that one because...
So, the plot of Psycho focuses around a young lady by the name of Marion Crane. And she is played by Janet Leigh. And she is having an affair with a married man in Phoenix, Arizona. It's
Sam Loomis.
It starts out in Phoenix, Arizona. And she basically needs money to elope with him so that he can get divorced, I guess, and they can be together.
Yeah.
So she ends up taking $40,000, which by today's equivalents might be around $400,000. I'm not sure, adjusted for inflation. But the point is that $40,000 in 1960 was quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
So, she steals the money from her boss because she works for, I think an investment banker. It's never really specified, but I believe that's what it is. It's an investment banker.
I think that's what it is, too.
So...
Oh, by the way, we actually did not find this on any streaming service. We actually own this on DVD.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, let me go get that for you guys. I'll be back. Dad, take it away.
You can find Psycho on the Peacock streaming app, though.
But you need Peacock Premium to watch it.
Yeah, I guess you do. But we have the entire Psycho collection. All 4 movies. And if you guys... And we may do 2, 3, and 4 at a later date. Yeah. But today, we're talking about Psycho. So, getting back to the plot. She steals the $40,000 and she's on the run. And as she's about to leave town, she actually sees her boss. And he makes eye contact with her. And it's basically, the first half of this movie is basically, can she get away with this? Yeah. Is she going to be able to do it?
And it's topped with that awesome Psycho theme. And if you guys don't know what the Psycho theme is, it's not the shower scene theme. That's a completely different one.
Yeah, that's...
Like, it kind of goes like it's like doo 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 doo
doo doo doo. And it was composed by Bernard Herrmann. So that's who you can thank for that.
Okay, I'm getting off track here.
Yeah, you are. It is a very fun film now. And as I've said, she makes her way to Fairvale, California, which is a fictional town in California where Sam Loomis lives. And she manages to make it to a rundown motel because she'd been driving.
Now,
and it was raining.
If you guys know your film history, you'll know that the Bates Motel might be one of the most famous motels in all of cinema history.
Yeah, it was the Bates Motel. And she comes across kind of a shyest young man by the name of Norman Bates. And he is played by Anthony Perkins, who does such a tremendous job in this movie. And he has some conversations with his mother, okay? And his mother is a bit on the, well, quite a bit on the strict religious side of things, and sees women who aren't her as basically creatures of, how do I put this? Well, I'll just come right out and say it because this isn't really a made-for-kids movie. The slang term for a prostitute. We'll just say that. And she thinks that all of them are that way and that none of them can live up to her. But there may be more to meets the eye. And we'll get to that in a minute. Janet Leia's character, Marion Crane, had overheard all of this while he was up at the house. Because apparently they like to shout and yell at each other when they're having their conversations. So, but Norman books Marion into the motel, and then they have dinner together, and they have a discussion about his mother. And he utters one of the most iconic lines in horror history.
We all go a little crazy sometimes.
No, it's we all go a little mad sometimes.
Yeah. Which...
when discussing his mother and putting her into a home.
Which, if you knew your history again, you'll know that Billy Loomis from the Scream franchise also said that line.
Yeah. And, of course, Billy Loomis is named after Sam Loomis, as is Dr. Loomis in Halloween. And fun fact, for those of you who don't know out there, Jamie Lee Curtis is the daughter of Janet Leigh. So, kind of ties things together.
Yeah.
Anyways, getting back to it. So, they have their conversation, and she dismisses herself to go to bed. And she's getting undressed and getting ready to shower, but somebody's watching her. And as it turns out, it's Norman Bates that's watching her. He's kind of turned on by her. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
And he feels pretty guilty about it because he's watching her through a peephole. He kind of has voyeuristic tendencies. So he feels bad about this. And apparently, Mother has to take care of this. And that leads to this the most famous scene, perhaps in all of horror history.
Yeah, the shower scene.
The shower scene.
Which is topped off with the shower scene theme, which is do 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 do.
The whole thing was done very, very well too, because
there's a bunch of quick shots.
Alfred Hitchcock used a bunch of quick shots and jump cuts, and you don't even ever actually see the knife penetrating. And fun fact, they used Bosco chocolate sauce for the blood because this is a black and white film. So Marion ends up getting killed by Mother. And then Norman comes back and utters another line that is considered to be a classic line in horror cinema history. Mother, oh God, the blood, the blood. And he ends up cleaning up after Mother. And he puts Marion Crane's body into the trunk of the car and sinks it in a swamp. Meanwhile, when all this is going on, it turns out that Marion has a sister.
Yeah.
And people are looking for her because of the $40,000 that had come up missing. And they feel like if they can get in contact with her without contacting the police, that they can resolve this matter and nobody has to go to jail. So the sister ends up traveling to Fairvale in search of Marion. And she hires a private investigator, and it turns out that they figure out that she had indeed went to the Bates Motel that night, and that Norman's pretty standoffish about the whole thing and kind of gives evasive answers. the first time that the private investigator comes in contact with him, and of course he wants to talk to Mother, but Norman won't allow it because she's a sick old lady. Okay, so then he gets he tells Marion's sister, who's played by Vera Miles, that he wants to go back and talk to the mother, and that he would contact them in an hour. Well, he goes and he tries to get into the house to see the mother, but then Mother preemptively attacks him, and he falls down the stairs, which is a death scene that they use in basically every single one of the Psychos.
Yeah, if you're watching like any Psycho film, the most common death scene is somebody's gonna fall down those stairs.
Yeah.
One way or another, somebody's gonna fall down those stairs. If it's from the private investigator.
So Sam and Marion Sam and Marion's sister get worried about the investigator, so they go out and pose as a married couple, and they go looking for clues, and they find some paper because Marion was in fact going to return the money, minus like $700 for a car. So she had wrote it down on a piece of paper and had flushed it down the toilet, but not all of it flushed, so that proved that she had been in the room. But of course Norman had already said as much, that she had indeed stayed there. So they continue to try to pry and investigate, and Marion's sister ends up in the crawl space, or the root cellar, because Mother didn't want to be put down in there. So she finds out the true secret of Mother, and that is that Norman Bates is in fact Mother and has a split personality.
Yeah,
It had seemed that 10 years previous, Norman had gotten jealous of Mother and her new lover, so he killed both of them with basically strychnine, poisoning their tea. And
and the deadly part about strychnine is you can't taste it at all.
So she had turned around and seen the corpse, and it was Norman dressed as Mother the entire time and doing these things. Now, this movie is tremendous due to the way that it builds up the tension and ratchets it up. And some people consider it to be an early pioneer of the slasher genre.
Yeah, only 2 people really die in the film, though.
Yeah, only 2 people actually die in the film. But Norman's Mother body count is much higher than that, actually. It's around 6 as opposed to 2, because there was a couple of girls that had come up missing too. And then the final shot of the movie is that Norman, aka Mother,
who's completely taken control now.
Yeah, is completely in control, and she says that she had to let Norman take the fall because she couldn't let them think that she did it and that she wouldn't even hurt a fly. So, what did I think of this movie? Oh my goodness. It is so great. For those of you out there who have not seen this thing, go out, check it out. You're going to love it. But of course, if you think that Psycho is the absolute worst film of all time, I have to throw these in there. You know I do. Every time we do these.
Seriously, who would think
That's
that,
your
though?
opinion. And just to remember that our opinions don't matter.
Yeah,
we're just 2 idiots with a cell phone
camera.
camera.
But they kind of do, because we have a YouTube show.
But they actually don't. So, got that out of the way, and now I'll tell you my rating for this. It's a 5 out of 5. Definitely. Great film. Check it out. What say you?
5 shower scenes out of 5.
So I think that wraps this one up this time, guys. And we'll see you next time. And all we got to say is just one more thing left, and that is peace and love from Denny and Son.
Bye!
Bye!